Before Yaya Han would be named one of the top 10 most popular cosplayers of 2014.
One of the greatest cosplayers, I'm gonna go ahead and say in the world, Miss Yaya Han.
Before she would cosplay some of the most recognizable characters such as Chun-Li, Jessica Rabbit, and Daenerys Targaryen, just to name a few.
Start with a clean, moisturized face. Primer is really important. I never put on my makeup without it.
Before Yaya would be a host, panelist, and judge at over 100 conventions and events worldwide. Before she would appear as a guest judge on TBS reality show King of Nerds.
In a stunning reversal, the rise of technology has brought with it the rise of the nerd.
Born in China and shortly moved to Germany and then Arizona, Yaya Han was always a creative and artistic person who loved to draw. She found out about Anime Expo from a local anime group that she was a part of, and after seeing pictures of people in costume, decided she wanted to join them. So began her cosplaying hobby. Eventually, cosplaying became such a huge part of her life that she had to quit her full-time job so that she would start her own costume commission business with partner Brian Bowling. Hey everyone, I'm Azzy, documenting the life of Yaya Han prior to fame, here for you on Before They're Famous. As always, be sure to let us know in the comment section down below who to document next.
I would say the character I identify with the most is probably Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones.
Yaya Han was born on April 10, 1982. She lived some of her childhood in Qian and Guangzhou, China, but her stepfather was a flight attendant for Lufthansa Airlines, so the majority of her childhood was spent living in Germany, while she also got to travel to several destinations on her stepfather's flights. Therefore, not only is she fluent in Chinese, German, and English, but she can also speak a bit of French, Japanese, Spanish, and even Latin. When she lived in China, she was surrounded by anime and manga, as those were incredibly mainstream forms of entertainment, so it was fairly easy for her to get into them. The first anime she watched was Saint Seiya, and from then on she was hooked. Her favorite thing about anime was the huge variety of well thought out characters. Some of the animes and mangas with the biggest impact on her life have been Rose of Versailles and Ranma. She was also introduced to American comic books by her childhood friends and found herself enjoying video games quite a lot as well, her favorite games being Uncharted series. Aside from anime and video games, she was always an artistic child who loved to paint and draw. When she was in her teens, she moved yet again, this time to Tucson, Arizona. There she joined a small local anime club where she found out about LA's Anime Expo. She decided to put her artistic talents to use and planned to attend the expo to sell her drawings. When she was looking up pictures from previous Anime Expos, she saw all these pictures of people dressed up in costume and immediately fell in love. Wanting to be a part of whatever it was that was going on there, she asked a friend to help her show the basis of sewing.
When I entered the community, it was very small, it was very underground, and we didn't have very much support. If you wanted to have a costume, you had to make it.
Yaya attended her first Anime Expo that year in 1999, dressed as Mil Varna from the 90s anime Maze. She had made the costume with a $40 machine and fabrics found at thrift stores after taking not even a single lesson. She was surrounded by people who were also dressed up, and that's when she learned that this was called cosplaying, and that she wanted to be able to cosplay for the rest of her life.
Something in me just kind of clicked. Like everything that I love, it just all came together, and that became the answer for all of these things that I wanted.
After that, Yaya began to attend cons regularly with friends, in a time where cosplay was just budding in the US. She even began competing. Her friends and her were constantly putting together skits and choreography. After a while, she grew tired of the constant working on skits and waiting backstage, so she took a break and just hung out in the halls cosplaying. Turns out she was even more successful there. She became one of the first cosplayers to do location and studio photo shoots, turning photography into a major part of cosplaying. In 2001, she was the first cosplayer to be invited to a convention as a guest of honor. It was extremely rare for a fan such as herself to be selected to appear alongside voice actors, panelists, hosts, and it was a big moment in her cosplaying career.
Being a geek is now more accepted in general, and that if cosplay is a part of this movement, just try to focus on the positives of it.
Although cosplaying was a huge part of her life, Yaya had a salaried job that she worked full time, and cosplaying was just a hobby for her. She started to get requests from costume commissioners, but she turned them down because she had no time between her work and her costume making. She did, however, take part in a costume accessory business with her two friends, Meg and Kat, called the Fairy Grove. It wasn't until 2004 that Yaya began to take commissions for costume designs. She took a leap of faith and quit her salary job and benefits to do costume commissions full-time, under the business name Daydream Artisans, along with her business partner Brian Bowling. It wasn't an easy decision and one that her family and friends didn't quite understand at first, but the commissions poured in and eventually she became known as one of North America's greatest costume designers and cosplayers.
So as you can see, Jess and I are actually friends in real life.
I love Yaya.
And for the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is before they're famous. I actually had a chance to meet Yaya Han and I must say that she is one of the nicest people I've met. And not to mention her costumes are even more incredible in person than they look in pictures. Awesome guys, thank you so much for watching. My name's Azzy, I'm also a cosplayer. Not as good as Yaya Han though, but yeah. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch some of the other videos on this channel. Until next time, bye!